Hey, good evening, and welcome to Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. We have a very special show for you today. None other than the one, the only, one of my favorite in-ring performers and the hottest talent in the Southeast right now is going to be joining me. He is the lean, mean, hip swiveling machine himself. And let me tell you, he is the man you definitely want to go see. And if you're going to beat him, as he says, you're going to have to train harder. Mr. Tyler Shoop is here. Mr. Tyler Shoop, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? Thank you for having me on, man.
Oh,
I like that hat already off the bat. Wait, hold on 1 second. You look like you've been training harder a little bit. Have you?
a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. I've been losing a little bit of weight. I've been trying to get back in shape so I can start fighting again. But
Well, you're looking
until
great.
That day comes, we're going to be training harder.
I can tell you are committed to the routine. Thank you for having me on here. I'm very excited to talk to you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here first and foremost and agreeing to be here. Myself and my fans have some questions for you, and we're going to start with a fan question. Are you ready?
Of course, I am ready.
All right, Mr. Shoop, one of our fans is none other than Princess Lady K, and she normally sits across from me here. But today we have you as our special guest here. And for the several months, we've been following you, starting way back at Pro Wrestling Entertainment, Wrestle for Recovery 3.
Correct.
And what a journey in such a short time it's been for you.
No doubt.
You know, you've been NWA JCP, Pile Driver Pro, SPCW, GCW, and very many more, AEW, all of them. You've been everywhere, sir. Can you please tell us about your journey in professional wrestling and how you got started? Who trained you and the roller coaster?
It's been a whirlwind, very fast, in just a little bit over a year, really. Just so much I feel like has happened, and I just feel like I keep getting more confident and having more fun with each opportunity that comes with it. But everyone kind of might have heard about me around a year ago, kind of starting over the last year hearing about me in the wrestling scene. But I actually was trained by Dr. Tom in one of the first classes he had at the JPWA, right when he started up in Knoxville. And that was back in 2019. So I was in one of his first classes here, trained with Dr. Tom. Was one of the hardest workers in that class, but we had a pretty good group of people like Channing Lorenzo, Stax, who's on NXT right now. He was the class before me, but he hung around, helped me. He taught me so much, kind of getting in the ring with him. He really inspired me a lot, and he's kind of paved the way for me right now that I look to follow after. And Ivy Nile, she's on Monday Night Raw right now. She was in our class. She took her first bumps with me as well. She's a beast. But yeah, no. So I got my start all the way back in 2019 with Dr. Tom at JPWA, and then I walked away. I actually took some time away from wrestling. I had some other opportunities. I'm a strength coach, D1 Hardin Valley, which is in Knoxville, Tennessee. And really, I spent some time away kind of fighting that battle, trying to inspire others and motivate others to train harder and commit to the routine. Before I could establish that in professional wrestling, I felt like I had to do it in Tennessee. And Tennessee is, I mean, you've seen the people. I mean, some of them are not.
If you can get over here, you can get over anywhere. So. They are the roughest, toughest, meth billy looking group of people that you'll ever see in your life.
I could spend even some time away from the wrestling scene to motivate the general population of Tennessee to just train hard, get in a little bit better shape. Then I felt like I could definitely do it in a wrestling ring. And that's kind of what I've done for the last year. And a lot of places really have kind of hopped right on the bandwagon. They really enjoyed me. They yell Shoop trains harder right back at me. Some places don't like me as much. So it's kind of just more the place, them taking the time for me to get around to them more than anything, rather than I'm an acquired taste, as some may say.
Well, you're definitely an acquired taste, and you're definitely worth booking. I will say that if anybody out here is watching, anybody that's going to be joining us later on from RCW, Championship One Wrestling, any of you guys out there at GCW, any of you guys that are out there AEW, wherever you guys are following us at SPCW, this is the man that you definitely want to book. He's definitely a great talent. You spoke about something earlier. You said how many hours you're talking about taking some time away. How many hours do you contribute to your training regimen to keep you in the spot that you currently are now and peak physical conditioning?
That's a very, very difficult question, because really 24, because the mind is one of the strongest muscles in the entire body. So my mind is training constantly 24/7 all day, going, running. Just because my muscles are resting, they require a little bit more rest. Doesn't mean you rest your mind. So I am always thinking about the next move, where I'm trying to make a statement at, who I'm going up against, whether that's Joe Briggs this Saturday night for the SPCW championship, or another one of the opportunities that I have in Nashville, going back down to Georgia. I'm always scheming, thinking up ahead of what is my opponent doing. I'm trying to gain an advantage over them. Think about what I always think about who the greatest of all time, John Cena, Roman Reigns, back in the day, The Rock, I mean, Stone Cold, you could go forever. Like, what were they doing to always prepare themselves for the next week? So everyone has kind of a different routine, no pun intended. And mine is, I mean, I train very hard in the morning. You talk about my workout regimen. I'm hitting the weights very hard. I'm hitting conditioning very hard, film very hard, and recovery is just as important. So that's your meals, that's your nutrition, that's the massages that you get during the week, stretching, treating your muscles right, making sure, because if you're not recovered, then you're at a disadvantage.
Well, you have longevity that's added on to you by making sure that your body's taken care of and it's properly rested and properly healed.
No doubt.
Because when it's unforgiving. You know, they always say you got a bump meter and you only have so many before it's the end.
Right.
And if you're not,
you hear that? Yep.
No doubt. You're not taking care of it, you know, you're not going to last very long. So
no doubt.
Well, let's move on just a little bit. We noticed back in July and in August, you had a feud with Gustavo. What is the source of that feud? Why do you care about dancing in professional wrestling? My God, you're setting yourself up to be a heel here over it. Everybody loves the dancing.
First of all, heel, baby. It's perspective. Like I said, perspective. Some people I come in, I tell them, commit to the routine. I am what a real athlete's supposed to look like, and they agree because they're smart. Some people, they see me as a heel or a bad guy because I'm telling them or reminding them what they can see with their own eyes, that I'm in better shape than them. But Gustavo, like I talk about, everyone's got their routine, their pregame regimen, what they do to prepare to wrestle. That's Gustavo's thing, is he dances to just a god-awful song, Bailamos. If you've heard it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Terrible. And he wastes time. I mean, I don't know what the rule is by what the time you have to get from the entrance ramp to the ring. But if you heard of delay a game in football, I mean, Gustavo, every time I wrestled him, he should have received a delay of game penalty. I was prepared for my match to start at a certain time. Gustavo delays the game by going to dance in the crowd and find some girl to give a rose to. That's time right there that is taken away from the warm-up that I had specifically to start at a certain time. So that right off the bat is cheating, and I mean, it just doesn't belong in wrestling right there.
Well, Tyler,
and you got to. I get frustrated with Gustavo because he continued to dance even though he knew the first two times he pinned me, my shoulders weren't down. So for him to gloat in my face like that, I would never do that to him. I would never do anything like that.
Well, you got to think about it like this. Is he getting in your head by dancing and taking the time before he gets in there? Because by getting in your head, that gives him the advantage in every match that you have against him.
Trust me, I am too focused, too locked in for a god awful song. I mean, just don't get me wrong. Gustavo is a heck of, like, he is very talented and very athletic. And if he wanted to go, I mean, he could pick a side. If he wants to go be a dancer, he's a phenomenal dancer. He's also a phenomenal wrestler. But they don't go together. You get it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
They don't go together. So pick one or the other. Regardless, either one. He's a superstar. He deserves all the credit in the world. He is going to be a name that people know for a long, long time, and everyone in Tennessee already knows him. He's probably one of the most popular guys in Tennessee. But Gustavo, just make a decision, man.
We have a fan that says, "Do you want him to give you a rose as a truce?"
No. What would I do with that rose? No.
Not even close. He doesn't know what he wants to do with it. That's right. I wouldn't take that rose either, Tyler, just to be honest with you. Let's move on a little bit. Now, we saw you at JCP here recently, and you're facing none other than the Prince of Professional Wrestling, Mr. Drew Hood himself. Now, the Prince is definitely something great, but you did something more phenomenal there. He is second to none with what you did. You beat him inside the ring 1, 2, 3. One of the toughest, most charismatic in-ring performers, Drew Hood, by the way. Now the charismatic Clydesdale, as he likes to call himself, has a rematch for that JCP Openweight Championship. Do you have any words for him, sir?
Well, that is news to me right there that Drew Hood has a rematch to my NWA JCP Openweight Championship, but I'm glad that he feels he's obligated to that rematch because Drew Hood is a heck of a talent, a guy that I have seen now for a long time, who I also believe you're going to be hearing about for a very long time on your television screen. And he's a heck of a talent in the ring too. He's got some size. He works very hard. And I mean, he thinks he's a little bit more charismatic. I mean, I don't know who he thought he was trying to pull the ring announcer to say something about him instead of the man that everyone came to see in that ring. But Drew Hood's a heck of a guy and a heck of a talent. And if he thinks he's got an open weight rematch next JCP show, I'm not sure if it's been made official yet, but I would love to see if he's trained any harder than he did the last time.
Well, that's absolutely a great thing for him and a great thing for you as well. You're open to all challengers for that open weight championship. So that's something that we haven't seen in the past. It was like pulling teeth to get him to defend it. And it looks like you're going to be a fighting champion now.
I said he got up, he went back to his hood and never defended it since.
I think you were the second challenger that he defended it in over a year. So that should tell you something right there. Well, let's move on a little bit. We know that there's beef between you and the Stu crew at SPCW. Is there anyone else on your heat radar that we should know about that you would like to, let's say, Max Abel or anybody like that?
I don't even want to say Max Abel. I will. Before I don't even I'm trying to think of my heat radar. Well, the Stu crew, obviously. They've I don't want to even say heat radar for them because I'm starting to kind of see some of the points they're making, and we can get to that in another day. Stu crew, heck of talents, two guys that I told anyone who would listen to for the last year and a half. They've been on more shows with me than anyone else I've met in wrestling. Those are another two names that are going to be taking over the tag team world very, very soon. But Max Abel, he was my spotter for almost a year until he got a little too big for his britches, his big red britches, and decided to pull a fast one against Weaver and the Pain back in SPCW. And then earlier in the year, he tried to pull a fast one when we were celebrating on New Year's. Tried to put me out for a longer time than he did back in May. But I do want to say something about Max Abel. After stepping in the ring with him, after being contractually obligated to work with him in other promotions since then, I have a lot of respect for him. And as a spotter, as a guy who just kind of was always there for me outside the ring, as he's been there for me as a tag team partner, he works his butt off to earn every single opportunity he gets. And for a while I pushed him because I didn't think he had I don't really know if I thought he had it in him. But I've seen him push, and I've seen him do a lot of the right things. Although he screws up a lot, but he does work. He does make up for it with his work ethic and his drive to be great. So I'll give it to Max Abel for sure.
You've hit something right there with Max Abel, and we've noticed it too. We've noticed him at NWA JCP events. We've noticed him at SPCW events. We noticed him at Crossfire events. The man works his tail off everywhere that he goes.
Exactly.
And I think in the future, Mr. Shoop, that would be somebody that you might have to look out for because of his work ethic.
I totally
he has a
agree
heck of one.
I mean, when I wrestled him in at SPCW, he pushed me to my limit. It took tons. It took a big, huge missile drop kick off the top rope to finally get him off his feet. I'm not an idiot. I got Joe Briggs this Saturday night at SPCW. Max Abel is going to be in that locker room somewhere. The Stu crew have been jumping me from behind any opportunity they can get. One member of the unit is going to be there, and he's going to be defending his SPCW Junior Heavyweight Championship against Johnny Poke, which I don't know how. I digress, but I don't know how KC Kazan is a junior heavyweight. It's not relevant to this, but they must have stretched the division a little bit. Back to my point. KC Kazan is going to be there. 1/3 of the unit. I'm another third of the unit. Max Abel was the third part of the unit right there. The numbers still don't add up if it's just me and KC going up against the Stews and Joe Briggs, and Rebecca's going to be out there with them. So Max Abel could really do right this weekend. He could do right going forward if he makes the right decision to step up if I need some help. So I'm not going to be afraid to ask my old spotter for a spot.
I'm extremely glad that you brought this up because we noticed you gave up your SPCW America Championship for what some might consider to be the chance of a lifetime, a shot at the heavyweight championship of SPCW against one Doctor of Destruction, Joe Briggs, September 7th in just a few days. What are your thoughts going into this?
It was a very tough decision because that was my first real meaningful championship in wrestling that I felt like I truly deserved and truly earned. So I defended that very proudly against NWA superstars, ton of great talent at SBCW, and I had a clause in my contract that said if I defended it so many times that I could challenge for the SBCW Heavyweight Championship. And in addition to proudly defending that American Championship, all I've been saying is I'm trying to make SBCW some of the most respected and best wrestling in the Southeast. And I truly believe we have such a young, talented roster that we could do that. But in order to do that, you got to do it the right way and the right man. And I have to be the top guy there to set the example, lead by example, and encourage others to commit to the routine and train harder so we can truly be the best wrestling and the hardest working wrestlers in the Southeast. And to do that, I have to beat Joe Briggs this Saturday night. And I have to be able to handle whatever he's going to throw it at me. If I got to jump through hoops, if I got to go through the Stu Crew, I know Rebecca's going to be out there. I'm not a fool. I've faced Joe Briggs one-on-one before. I've faced him in tag team action before. So I know what's coming at me. It's not going to be easy, but I've been training harder for this one. I missed the last SBCW show because I was preparing for this one.
Well, we're a house divided, Mr. Shoop. I'm just going to let you know right now. She loves the Doctor of Destruction, Joe Briggs. I'm a fan of his as well, but I'm not as big of a fan of his as I am of yours. And I hope, sir, that you are able to put one more on your notch and grab that belt this coming Saturday. I mean, I really hope you're able to.
That would mean a ton. That's going to be a huge opportunity. I've been looking forward to this one for a while.
We are going to be there too, live. We are going to be taking some footage. We're going to be taking some videos of you guys. Awesome. And we want to let you know right now that the House Divided will be there. One of us will be shooting for you, and one of us will be shooting for the Doctor of Destruction. But we're going to have both.
I just want to hear you guys. I just want to hear you guys out there for sure. I appreciate you guys always.
No problem. Mr. Shoop, let's talk about your upcoming bookings. Where can the fans expect to see you next? What do you know about the pricing and the time zones of each event?
I got some big opportunities coming up. I'm just going to stick to September because my September is honestly kind of loaded right now with some new promotions that I'm working for, some old ones that I'll be returning to, and some big, every opportunity is a big opportunity. So this weekend, like we just mentioned, just got done talking about, I'll be at SBCW. Off the top, I can't remember tickets right off the top of my head for some of these places, so I'm just gonna kind of estimate here. I think kids are about $5. I think it's about $15 for general admission, but I don't want to butcher all that, so I forgot to all that. SBCW, I'll be taking on Joe Briggs, challenging for the SBCW American Championship. Been training very hard for that one. Looking forward to that opportunity. As I mentioned earlier, the following weekend, I'll be back in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Nashville Fairgrounds Arena, the famous Nashville Fairgrounds Arena, very historic, iconic in professional wrestling, a place that I've had on my list that I really want to wrestle for a long time. I'll be working with Pro Wrestling Entertainment. Once again, we talked about them earlier. Awesome promotion, always have a great show, always a ton of talent that you're going to be seeing on your television for a long time. Always have a great audience, tons of energy, going to be very fun in the Nashville Fairgrounds Arena. Following week, I'll be in Memphis, making my Memphis debut on Tuesday. I'm very excited for that as well. Just a fan of just territory wrestling, just thinking about getting an opportunity to wrestle in the Memphis territory. I'll be making my debut for Bluff City Wrestling in a tournament for their new championship there. They're kind of going through a revamp, and they're going with new champions, kind of a new feel for the entire promotion, entire brand. So it's a huge opportunity, and I appreciate them giving me the chance to compete for their first title in a tournament against some of the best talent out in Tennessee, and the Kazana brothers will be there as well. So I think there's a few more names scattered across Tennessee that'll be there competing. After that, September 20th, back in Nashville, Tennessee, CCW, Coastal Championship Wrestling. They're the last territory. A large portion of their shows are ran in Florida, but every month they run a show in the Texas Troubadour Theater in Nashville. It's where we wrestled last month for NWA JCP. Heck of a show, heck of an environment for wrestling. Tons of energy in there. The two times I've wrestled there now against Alex Taylor for the NWA World's Junior Heavyweight Championship, and then a few weeks ago against Dylan McQueen for CCW. Two of the most electric audiences I've been in front of, and I just cannot wait to get back in there. I haven't received my opponent yet for CCW, but definitely looking forward to getting to that show. The following night, hopefully is my first night as the SBCW champion, defending at the SBCW Sportatorium. That'll be September 21st. I got a big night there. I'm not sure what I'll be doing. Obviously, my expectation is to walk into that building as the champion and defend that against whoever management brings to me. And then at the end of the month, rounding it up, I'll make my return down to Savannah, Georgia. Coastal Empire Wrestling, awesome promotion, awesome company down there that I've wrestled once before, and was actually cheated out of a victory there by Chad Skywalker. He had a loaded glove. I don't really want to talk about that. Thanks for bringing it up. But yeah, no, that's a great show. If you got any listeners down in Georgia, check out Coastal Empire Wrestling.
Absolutely. It sounds like you've got a extremely busy September coming up.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this is exactly what I commit to the routine for.
Absolutely, it is. Mr. Shoop, thank you so much for being here. We noticed, like, I've got this nice little hat on. You've got the nice little hat on. You've got lots of merchandise. Where can these fans get some of that beautiful merchandise?
Right now, I am still in the process of getting a whole website together with all my Shoop merchandise, Shoop promos, Shoop updates. But currently, right now, I run everything just through my social media. So to get merchandise through Shoop, I have tons of shirts. I'm actually wearing a Shoop Trains How to t-shirt right now, Shoop hats. You can go to my Instagram, to my Facebook, through my Twitter. Just shoot me a message. I'm pretty good about checking messages in any sort of folder. Also, of course, just come find me at any of those shows I mentioned. Any of the shows I got coming up, I'm always at the merchandise table. Sometimes I'm friendlier than others, depending on how the show goes, depending on how the match goes. But come up and see me. Always a fun time. I invite you out to go see a local independent wrestling show if you have not.
Mr. Shoop, if the fans want to follow you on social media, how can they do so?
Facebook, find me, Tyler Shoop. It's my real name. At Joe Briggs, call me a gimmick. There ain't no gimmick about Tyler Shoop being my real name. Instagram, Shoop, at Shoop Trains How, and Twitter at Tyler Shoop _.
Excellent, sir. Mr. Shoop, any last words for anyone watching here today?
If you are watching this right now and you have not decided by now to commit to the routine and train harder, and it's because you know deep down you just probably don't have it in you and you aren't capable of it. So respect to that. But if you do feel like you have it in you, I encourage you to go out there, commit to the routine, better yourself, train a little bit harder.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Shoop. That's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We would love to have you back sometime in the future. Thank each and every one of you guys for watching. Any last words, sir?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. You have a great evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.